Alrighty, so Final Boss Guila and Jericho just dropped, and of course, like I said during the extended patch notes, this fight is extremely easy. We're going to be showing the team that got the #1 scores on JP, which is, as you can see, not that it matters because it literally just came out, but I'm ranked 7. Which is pretty cool. But something to note is that this score is 5,500, and the top score on JP, well, last time I looked at it, it could have been different before it ended. Not sure exactly when it ended, but this was from like last week whenever we got the patch done, because I was expecting it to drop then. The screenshot that I have from somebody showed that the top score with the team was 10,000. So I'm not exactly sure how the team is supposed to work, but I've got a pretty good understanding of it just after doing a singular run, and it's honestly not too bad. This is the team that you're using. The biggest thing is obviously Bon is kind of but luckily you're not using Bon to ult, which is good, because that means that it makes it a little bit more free-to-play friendly, because obviously, you know, most of the time whenever they have Bon on a team, it's like, oh, you're using Bon because they put buffs on, and you use the 6/6 ultimate to rupture damage them into submission, and it does crazy damage and you get big points from it. But from my understanding, I think you're basically just using Bon's buff card to increase your max HP to get higher score at the end, because obviously you want to have high HP because it normally translates into more points. The other thing that you're kind of working on is this blue Lizhawk, which is pretty interesting. I actually didn't have her powered up before last week, but I powered her up to get ready for this fight specifically. Because the whole thing is they put like Guila will put ignite stacks on you. Jericho in phase 2 will put bleed. Actually, I'm not sure if it's bleed, but I know that she'll put explosion debuffs on you. And your basic goal is to try to solidify as much of those as possible, so that way you end up getting a ton of buffs, and then you use her amplify card to take care of this bottom challenge right here, which is deal over 400,000 damage in a single attack. I was actually able to do that one pretty easily. I actually ended up on my first run getting the 70% HP. It wasn't a problem, and then I was able to clear with a human in the team because of Bon. I obviously did not complete it with under 140,000 CC, because that one's kind of ridiculous. You probably could do that, but for an extra 150 points, it's probably not worth it, considering if you get good RNG and luck with your sort of card draws and everything like that, you could probably get a really high score just off of getting, you know, or like solidifying your debuffs, doing crazy amplified damage, along with having a really good Bond buff on, so that way you have a ton of HP. For the Oath of Combat, we're using everything except for Clear Without Food, because obviously you can only select 3, and you get the most score out of all of these right here. Using food is going to help us. We're going to be using HP food just because it's going to give us that little bit more of an edge. Bond will do more damage, plus we'll have more HP for more score. Clearing within 7 turns is insanely easy. The biggest thing here is getting the good RNG within 7 turns, so that way you get really crazy, you know, damage, whatever. When I was able to do it earlier, we're going to be clearing it without ultimate moves and no Zeldris. I don't really remember why Zeldris was a big thing. Maybe he was like a really good unit for it whenever it first came out, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. You don't need to use him anymore. Let's go ahead and hop in, and I'll talk about it while we play. So during the first run, I was able to, I pretty much ranked up a ton on Lizhawk, which may have been a misplay. But I think during this first phase, you kind of just want to stall a little bit, maybe get rid of some cards. I would love to actually get rid of this attack card, but I don't want it to do like insane damage right off the bat, because you can see he already, Jericho already has 3 ultimate gauge, and they're really weak. So we're going to try and avoid that if possible. I would like to rank up on the Bond buff, I think, but it really just depends on what my RNG looks like. So let's do, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm not super well versed with this team. I don't know exactly what the best option's gonna be, but Obviously, I'm just kind of giving you the foundation here. I'm not telling you exactly how to play the team because honestly, I don't know what the best option would be to get the best score. But as it goes along, maybe I'll figure more out as you guys play along. And if you have this team, you guys can try to figure some stuff out as well. We're going to just try to clear as much hand space as possible, I think, at the moment. I really don't want to get rid of the Solidify card, and I would like to try and merge for another Bond card if possible. I might regret it. Let's... They're not going to ult me or anything at the moment, and they're gonna heal a little bit. I think let's just move... Let's move the Bond card. It'll get him closer to ultimate, which might not be great. But because I mean, we can't use ultimates because of our commitment thing, our battle oath, or oath of battle. So we want to make sure that we're not getting ultimate gauges super fast because it's going to clog up our hand and, you know, mess with our card draw a little bit there. We do have... I think what we're going to do is we're going to double rank Bond. Maybe. Yeah, let's double rank Bond. And let's get rid of... Actually, let's not commit that hard. Let's rank up once on Bond. And then let's get rid of both of these attack cards just to clear some hand space, because we're going to draw the ult regardless. And I'm not too worried about having the attack card in hand. So that actually clears the 400k mission. I actually did it last time with Liz, just using her amplify card. So that was kind of nice. I think at this point, because the Bond buff is going to actually heal so much for us, I think we're just going to go ahead and upgrade. We're going to throw this out, and then we're going to move this. I really need to see what we can draw. If I can draw another Solidify or another rank up, which we can't, unfortunately. Luckily, I think, depending on the ones we have, luckily, because they're both green units, they're going to try to attack Liz as much as possible, which is good because they're going to put on a ton of debuffs on her specifically. Let's just go ahead and try to go for this. And then I don't know necessarily if you're wanting to try to get like insane damage with her specifically. Like, we could use the Bond card. Out of curiosity, I think I'm going to do the Bond card. Like I said, I don't know exactly how the team is supposed to play to get the absolute maximum amount of rewards and stuff, but, or the maximum amount of like score. But yeah, that did insane damage, which is pretty understandable. I don't know, maybe Liz is just there to try to cleanse debuffs. I know that solidifying debuffs and like cleansing debuffs and stuff like that is a really good source of score. I don't think this even beat our last score. This is 5794. I want to say my last one was 57 as well. We'll check really quick. 5794 was this score. The one I had before was... Okay, so I guess that was a new score, but you can see we've already been pushed down to 86 because more people are trying it now. But yeah, honestly, not too hard. I'm going to try to mess around with it a little bit more, try to see if I can get a better hang of the team. I think your best bet is just to try to draw as many Solidify cards maybe as possible and Solidify debuffs as much as possible, so that way you get score for sort of like cleansing buffs, or I think it might be considered a different score bonus to Solidify buffs instead, but I know that that gives you a pretty decent amount of score, so if you can try to Solidify as much as possible, it should end up boosting you up quite a bit, I guess. I don't know. If you know exactly how the team works, maybe you play JP, whatever the case may be, maybe you're well-versed with the team in general, or just how the fight works, feel free to let me know, because I don't know exactly how it works, and I just kind of want to get the team out there, so that way you guys can sort of experiment with it, because this was the team that everybody was using on JP. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you. Nothing super crazy. The fight's super easy. Honestly, you could probably just use a regular Bond team and auto this insanely quickly. You probably don't even have to use Bond, but I think Bond would be a good one for this because of the type advantage and everything. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Let me know, you know, feedback and stuff like that on how you think the team works. I would really appreciate it. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.